Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we cover a new character every week. This week, we're doing Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Steven.
And we're waiting on Brandon. He should be joining us anytime now. I will call it out whenever he joins us. How is everybody doing today? How are you today, Brad?
I'm doing just fine.
Good to hear. How are you doing, Steven?
Doing well. Thank you, Fred. Here at the game store, just finished up a game and now talking to you guys. So,
That sounds good. I am sick. I am very sick. You will probably hear it in my voice. I have a cold. It's nothing serious. It's just I am head coldy as heck. Uh how this has been a rough week in Fredville. It's just been a very busy week. Uh all right, let's move on to our news for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I don't think we got any news aside from the release for Cosmic Ghost Rider. Uh,
Who?
is there? Yeah, the guy on the giant blue motorcycle.
Apparently, that front wheel is clear. It comes in clear plastic.
Ooh, that's interesting.
and we even call it a motorcycle.
It's definitely a
Yeah,
motorcycle.
it's
Well,
definitely something.
I would argue it's shaped like a motorcycle.
It's got something on the front. A big sphere. I don't know. Y'all, I'm tired too. I'm really tired.
No,
In other news, we have a tournament coming up on Saturday of this week. It's probably going to be close to the day that this episode drops. That will be May the 20th. Is that correct?
Yes.
May 20th?
May the 20th be with you.
May the 20th is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston. Come on down. Right now, it's only Brad and I who are signed up, which is
and maybe Borka.
maybe Borka. Borka's a maybe. So, uh, worst case scenario, we'll just play a game and have some fun.
Yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, my consistency streak has come to an end.
That's okay. You, for as far away as you live, I'm surprised that streak lasted as long as it did.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, with me owning a business in South Carolina, it's just a good way stop on the way. So why not, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you're a lot more consistent than a lot of the people who live in the same city as us.
And
well.
Jared, if you're listening, we're specifically calling you out.
Jared may be the only person who's working worse hours than I am. So I'm not gonna call him out too
He
hard.
said he was
I
going to have
understand he's got a
Saturdays
rough go.
off.
Yeah. Saturdays off with two kids and a full schedule
They can
of
take
chores
care.
to do.
They can take care of themselves. In fact, the kids can do his chores. Perfect solution.
Well, let's I don't know what else do we need to do. I'm all muddled. I'm all muddled. Uh let's talk about games that we've played recently. I don't have any because I have not been able to play any games. What are you up to, Brad? What games have you played recently?
I played a game of MCP against Borka last night. I played X-Men. He played Guardians. Classic Borka versus me. Uh, it was sword and hammers. I had Storm. I know I had Psylocke because I wanted to play Psylocke. Beast, Domino, Mystique. There's probably someone else in there. He had Ghost Rider in his Guardians with Star Lord, Rocket Groot, Drax.
To clarify, you mean original flavor Ghost Rider?
Yes, original Ghost Rider.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Uh, I lost this game. It ended up 16-15. Um, I don't know how the score was that close. I had two models left, and they were both injured, and one only had like one health left. And he still had all his people. I think
Oh
everybody
boy.
was still
Sounds
on
like
the
a rough
table.
game.
Yeah, it was very rough for me. I don't know how the score was so close, but as I said last night, I will take losing every time I play Borko on a Wednesday. If I can keep beating him in tournaments, I'll take that trade. I'll take that trade every time. We play more often on a Wednesday. I'll take all those losses for the wins on Saturdays.
Wow.
It sounds like a real heck of a. Borka's list with the Guardians is, I mean, he's an excellent player in and of himself, but also his list is really good. Like he tends to
He
bring the
had
best stuff to augment it. Yeah.
this roster with Ghost Rider had 4 or 5 twos in it. I think it was 4. And
Yeah.
he played all 4 of them in his second game against Brandon.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
So he
goodness.
had Nebula, Rocket, um, Bullseye, and Black Widow
You
all
know
on the
what?
table.
That's not only is that a really solid 8 points. That's 8 points, and it's good. That's a good 8 points.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it seemed
imagine
to
he
serve him
has
pretty well.
Groot for 11, and then Star Lord makes
14.
14. Oh my gosh,
So
Something,
Ghost Rider fits at 19.
yeah.
that's disgusting.
Something Borka learned in my game with him last night, which I wish he had learned at a tournament, was that Mystique can just kill Rocket
Oh
because
yeah, you're right. She
he can't
can.
bodyguard. He was like, he was
Right.
sitting there like deciding if he wanted to, because I shot at him, decided if he wanted a bodyguard. I was like, you can't. And he looked at me funny. I was like, you can't bodyguard. And I told him the rule, and he's like, oh, that's really good. And so he immediately killed Mystique. She was the first one dead.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tech for Emma Frost too.
Yes.
Emma Frost
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. I had taken Emma Frost out of my list, and then, like, in the middle of the game, I put her back in. Because I swapped her for Rogue, and then I was like, no, I'm putting Emma Frost back in.
That's I being Rocket Raccoon being unable to be removed is just so hard to deal with. Like he's such a good 2 point model, and Groot is so hard to kill. And if the person is a competent Guardians player, which Borka certainly is, you will never do damage to Rocket Raccoon. It's really a problem. That is a fantastic pair, Groot and Rocket.
Yeah.
All right. So, Steven, did you have any games that you've played recently?
Yes, I actually played one just about an hour ago, to tell you the truth. Well, we
Okay.
finished up about an hour ago. Started about 5:30. Um, I played Eric. He's one of our newer players, so he is fascinated with Asgard. So he's Thor, Loki, Angela, Enchantress, every Asgardian. He doesn't have Beta Ray Bill yet. He only has 9 models in his collection. so so it was one of those go through the kind of like step games. So um, we ended up playing Spider Infected and Mutant Madman at 18, and his team was Loki with a Mind Gem, Thor, Hela, and Enchantress. And I was playing my Spider Syndicate, which is my Spider Foes Criminal Syndicate list with
Uh-huh.
Goblin and Kingpin. And I made a mistake, but it didn't cost me. But I was like, oh, yeah, I'll run, Syndicate. Well, it's a pay to flip, right? Mutant Madman. So I should have played Spider Foes. But, learning games, you tend to do those things. So it worked out, though, because I went 6 wide with Kingpin, Craven the Hunter, Hood, and Bullseye as my criminal syndicate. And then I did Dr. Octopus and Lizard as my splashes. And I just had too many bodies. That's what it came down to. And so, we had a discussion on that saying, if if you see across from you somebody who's got a list, you have to remind yourself, okay, more than anything else, the extracts are probably what's going to dictate how many characters you're going to bring to the table for that threat level. And that's why I went 18. Otherwise, at 17, which was Spider Infected, I couldn't go 6 wide. I would be 5 wide, right?
Yeah.
So I said, so more than anything else, the point level and what the extract is can kind of guide you in the direction of where you want to go with your team. So if you have like 3 extracts and 3 points, you probably want to go with a taller team. So we went over that a little bit, and how sometimes it might be different, how sometimes it lines up correctly. So, but we
Yeah,
had
that's
we had
that's
we had a
very
good
good
learning
advice.
experience.
That's
Mm-hmm.
great advice that it took me a long time to realize. Like it's tough sometimes to be able to visualize that sort of thing. Did you talk to him about bringing Hella in the list? About
Well,
specifically about not doing it?
well, he wanted to. Okay,
Yeah,
so and,
that's
and
fair. That's fair.
he's got 9 models, and I mean I've run Hella before in Midnight Suns, admittedly, but she was not bad at Midnight Suns. So I mean, like I said, he only had 9 models. He had Thor and Valkyrie, um, Hela and Loki, uh, Angela and Enchantress, and then Scourge and Heimdall. And then his 9th model was She-Hulk. He doesn't even have the core box. Okay, I
Okay.
mean that's where we're at with Eric. But
I'll
he
tell
plays a lot of games. So
I'll tell you what. I played a game using Scourge the other day.
mm-hmm.
I was playing against Derek, and I was shocked at how much Scourge does on the table. Scourge is good for 3 points. He is
Mm-hmm.
a good model.
Yeah. So, and I also gave him the advice that Loki needs to be going around with a bodyguard type person like She-Hulk, because then he's way more effective. Because um, I collapsed to one side of the board because we were on a B scenario for the secure points, and he had Loki and Thor um, on the right side, and I had my whole team against Enchantress and Hela on the left side. And it was basically what it came down to.
Yeah.
So, and I said, this is why I did this, showing him, you want to refuse a flank sometimes. Sometimes you want to abandon the flank. You're scoring 3 points over there. I'm fine with that, because then I'm scoring, um, 6. So, just taking that into account and, just going through it and saying, this is what you should do with Loki, and you should take this into consideration. He didn't even. I kept reminding him, you know, how to use the Asgard leadership, because he wasn't even healing his people when they were getting damaged. So
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, that's good in a learning game. Sometimes that sort of fiddly stuff is important to remind your opponent.
Mhm. So next time Eric and I meet up for a game, we're just going to dive into my collection and set up a scenarios saying this is this is the scenario that we've chosen. Okay, let's go over it, and you pick a leader, and we'll build a team for that, and then you pick my leader, and I'll build a team, and we'll go from there. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Brandon, we might return to this segment when Brandon joins us. I was kind of hoping he would in the time that we were doing it, but he has yet to join the call. So, uh, do you have a segment for us there, Steven?
yes, I actually do. Um, it involves our guessing games again. Are you guys ready?
I'm game.
6.
Okay. So we have Cosmic Ghost Rider as our esteemed guest tonight, and who we will discuss. He has an interesting characteristic that's kind of rare in the game, um, and that is that he has a 4 physical, 4 energy, and 4 mystic defense. Can you guys name how many other characters have that above stat line or better in Marvel Crisis Protocol?
As in, they all add to 12 or better, or none of them are below 4 or better.
None of them are below 4. They're a natural 4 defense across the board or better.
6.
Okay.
I'm going
I
with
What's
was
that?
gonna say
6.
less. I was gonna say 5 or 4. I'm gonna say 4.
Okay, Brad is correct with 6.
I caught it
Oh wow,
before you
spot
even
on.
asked the question. Nailed it.
Yes, you might be psychic. So, Brad, for bonuses, can you name the characters and any possible defensive tech that they might have?
No, no way. I can't even name one.
uh, uh, one of them is Malekith. Malekith is 444.
Okay, and what is his defenses?
Uh,
His
his
defensive tech, I should say.
his defensive tech is he can spend a power to roll a skull into a crit. He turns skulls into crits.
Correct. Yeah.
He
So
used to
that
be able to not you used to be able to not adjust dice against him, but they errated that.
that is true. So that makes his 444 a little bit better, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Brad, do you have a guess or no? One of these you should know. And I'm surprised because she is a mutant.
Really?
She.
Yeah.
She. Is it Diamond Side Emma Frost?
You are correct, Fred.
Oh,
Hey, I'm on top of this stuff.
I wasn't even thinking of Diamond Side Emma Frost. I was like, it's not Scarlet Witch. I almost called her a real
No.
name. I was like, that's not it.
Um,
So I don't know who it is.
Wanda Maximoff.
so
Yeah.
what defensive tech does she have?
She doesn't.
Rerolls all Mystic?
Oh no, it is
No.
with Mystic. She counts Wilds as double, maybe.
Or
No,
blanks?
she counts blanks.
She
That is
counts
correct.
Okay.
blanks. Okay.
Well,
On
look at
Mystic.
Fred coming through with all the
Listen, I'm
okay.
paying attention. I'm not asleep here. I
Now
wish I was.
we briefly mentioned in my previous segment 2 of the characters who have 4s across the board.
Briefly mentioned in the previous. So, is one of them. So they have a beam.
No.
In the games we played.
Oh, in the
Yeah, in the
games
game.
we've played. Oh, I thought you meant in the previous segment, as in the one last
No,
episode.
no,
Boy,
no,
I'm
no,
old.
no.
Is does Immortal Hulk have that?
No, he does not.
Okay.
Is one of
Immortal?
them Thor?
No. Thor
Oh,
is a 4-4-3. Hulk is a
4-4-3.
4-3-5.
Okay, he does have a 3.
Fred, you mentioned it was the character he shouldn't be playing.
Oh, Hella.
Yes, Ella has a
Hella's
4-4.
4-4-4?
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
almost said her,
wow.
and I was
Yeah.
like, "There's no way," but I guess
And the only defense she has is her defense against being knocked out. That's the only
Right.
defense she has.
Her soul
Okay.
stealing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, here's one that's probably not on the list is Doctor Voodoo. He's four four
No,
no,
six.
he's not.
You
no,
know
he
when
is
he's
not.
got Brother Daniel.
He's a
That does not
2-2-4.
count.
I know.
It's a natural. So the other one I have here is an Asgardian, and for the next hint, they are also a an Asgardian and a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Is it Beta Ray Bill?
No, Bill is a
It's
4-4-3.
Angela. Angela's
Correct.
4-4-4.
Oh,
I should have thought of
What
her
is her
earlier.
defensive? What is her defense tech?
Can't reroll.
Can't reroll or change attack dice.
Yeah, roll or modify.
Which is different than the old Malekith roll, where you can't reroll dice. You could change dice against Malekith, but you could not reroll.
oh, so like Gambit could change his his hits into wilds.
Bats the Ghost Town for Midnight Suns, you could change a dice, but
Right.
you could not change attack dice into Angela. So her defensive attack for that 4-4-4 is really good.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and there's one more character.
One more. Give me a hint. Give us a hint.
This character has a 5 mystic defense.
Uh. Uh. Give us another hint. That's not enough.
This character only gains 1 power when doing an attack.
Dormammu.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so Brandon just joined us and he no scoped that. He nailed that without even knowing what the question was.
I assumed it was characters with 4 defenses.
Or
Wow.
better. Or better. Yes.
Yeah.
So he joined like 2 minutes ago, less than that.
Not,
So
yeah, not even.
y'all,
Yeah.
he that was an incredible piece of of intuitive knowledge that Brandon just dropped.
He is basically Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, well done.
So except for our esteemed character that we're doing today, Angela and Malekith have the best defensive techs for the 4-4-4 stat line, whereas I would say Dormammu and Hela, the Queen of Hell, have the worst defense techs into for the 4-4-4 stat.
Yeah.
Emma Frost being somewhere in the middle because she never really wants to go to Diamond Form. I understand that.
Yeah.
So, but
All right.
that was my segment. So I hope you guys learned a little bit today.
Yeah.
On characters that are kind of rare in the MCP world right at the moment.
This is the most we've ever talked about Hella, just on the podcast.
A lot of Helitech.
Yeah. So we've already gone over games we've played recently, Brandon. But why don't you? Do you have any games that you want to talk about that you've played recently?
Not really.
Okay.
I played Joss and lost again. Like it's water's wet, grass is green.
Yeah. I mean that's every time I play against Borka. That's what happens. I lose to him. That's me playing most of the people in our meta is I lose to them. That's okay.
And then we travel, and how do you do, Fred?
I do okay. I do okay. All right. Is there anything that anyone would like to talk about before we move on to our good gentleman, Cosmic Ghost Rider?
Are there any more tournaments that we're aware of?
I gotta be honest, I have no idea. I'm not on top of stuff today. I'm
Because I don't know if Fabricators Forge is having one next week. So
Yeah, they were iffy. It was basically, I think Nick was willing to change his plans if enough people wanted to. And I never did check in on that to see if they were.
yeah, and I know Cork is running one the same day that you guys are having yours in Dayton again. So
Well,
okay.
there's the big when do you Steven, do you remember off the top of your head when the LVO qualifier in Pittsburgh is?
oh no, I don't.
I don't remember
I'm
either.
sorry. I think it's July. I could be wrong. I
I'll
I
be
want to
able
say
I
July
can
for
find
some
it.
reason.
Well, while Brad is looking that up, how are you doing, Brandon? Like, how are you doing today?
Yeah,
How's
I'm
your day
doing
been?
good. Yeah, I'm doing good. I got off work at 2 and I played a round of disc golf and then uh my friend came over. We're playing in a Magic tournament tomorrow and I built him a deck and we were just kind of jamming some games and kind of lost a little bit of track of time,
Okay,
which is
Nice.
why I'm a little bit late.
Oh, that's all right.
I have an
It
answer.
sounds fun. What's the answer there, Brad?
It is September 23rd and 24th.
2 days.
Yeah. Well, they've got it capped at 42 players. So
Holy guacamole.
It's a lot.
And where is that occurring?
that's a Fabricator's Forge.
Oh, it's at Fabricators Forge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bryce is
Okay.
running it.
Do they have room for 21 tables?
Yes.
Barely, but yes.
Yes. That is every gaming table they have. The place is very nice, Brandon. You'll have to come with us sometime.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to the guy that we're doing today. That is Cosmic Ghost Rider, otherwise known as Frank Castle. His defensive stats are 4, 4, and 4, as previously mentioned. He has 9 health on his healthy side and 7 on his wounded side. He is 6 threat, size 3, and he moves medium. And chances are he's on a very large base. Well,
He is on a
that
large base.
so that's a good movement for a large base model. I'll do his attack suite also. His first attack is called Hellfire Blasters. It is an energy attack, range 4 that throws 6 dice, and it is just a normal gainer. It only gains 1 power. And then his spender is a mystic attack called Power Cosmic Penance Stare. It is range 2. It throws 12 dice, which might be the single largest attack in the game
It
just
is.
by the
It
number
is
of
the
dice
most. It is
listed.
the most dice listed on a card in the game.
Right. And it is a cost 6 power. And the target character does not gain power for damage dealt by this attack. And if you get every single symbol shown on a dice, that's the crit, wild, hit, shield, and skull, it does dust to dust, which change each of the target character's shield results to a skull. So it basically nullifies the defenses for most characters, not 100% of them. Brad, why don't you go over the first 2 superpowers there?
The first one is Interstellar Hell Cycle. Costs X. It's active. Character can spend 1 to 5 power to use this superpower. Place this character within range X of its current position, where X is the amount of power spent. Superpower can be used only once per turn. Chains of Sidorak. Cost 2, active. Choose a character within range 3 of this character and push it towards this character's short. Then the chosen character gains the Incinerate special condition. A character can only be affected by the superpower only once per turn.
Okay, Steven, why don't you go over the next two superpowers?
All right, we have a reactive superpower called Cosmic Justice on Wheels. It will cost you 3 power. If an allied character is dazed or KO'd by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, this character may use the superpower. It makes a Hellfire Blaster's attack against the enemy character that caused the effect. And then we have an innate superpower. I'm the Spirit of Vengeance, bearer of the power cosmic, and just a bit unstable. During the power phase, this character rolls 5 dice. For each crit, wild, and hit rolled, this character gains 1 power. Then, if this character has 5 or more power, this character gains a Psychosis token and drops all objective tokens it is holding. At the start of the next power phase, remove all Psychosis token from this character.
And Brandon, why don't you finish out the card?
Ready to roll. At the start of the first power phase, this character gains a Psychosis token. While it has a Psychosis token, it counts fail results in its attack, defense, and dodge rolls as successes. While this character has a Psychosis token, it cannot hold, contest, or interact with objective tokens. He has flight. He's immune to bleed, hex, incinerate, and poison.
There he is. That is a big card with a lot of stuff on it. A lot of very interesting stuff. A lot of stuff that I like, and a lot of stuff that I kind of am a little bit hesitant to like. What is... All right, so who has a take that they want to talk about here? Why don't you start us off, Steven? I tend not to start with you. Steven, why don't we start?
Okay, well, for obvious reasons, this character cannot do turn 1 scenario play jank. That is for sure. So he can't pick up a hammer that's right in front of him. That might be an issue, you know. He can't pick up the hammer that's on the side. That might be an issue on the first round.
Right.
He can't even go and contest an objective that a 2-threat character is just standing by. You know, he would have to, instead of doing the point swing where he would go up, contest the objective, and then possibly, you know, daze them, he just has to sit there and try to daze them. So it's you're just trying to prevent your opponent from scoring, but you're not going to score in the meantime. So that's my number one thing with him. It's just like, oh gosh, that to start off, that's not very good play, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if you're bringing this gentleman, you know that you cannot count on him to be an objective piece. You have to bring him expecting him not to be useful for objectives. Otherwise, he's just never going to do anything.
Yep.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of good here. A lot of useful stuff, but that's a real negative. That's a big negative.
He can't even go through the portals.
Right. Okay. Brad, why don't you talk about him? What we got going on here?
I get the upside with him. I get that he is a murder machine. I think his downside is just too big. I think that he's going to be, like, people are going to be excited about all his killing potential. They're going to play him. And the only people who that continue playing him are people who like the character. I don't think he's going to be like a meta pick after the initial wave of excitement. I think that downside is just too big because basically every turn he does not score points. And while he's good at killing, I don't think he's going to kill the whole team so that it doesn't matter anymore.
So I think that if you use all of his power, there's a pretty good chance that he will still he won't have the psychosis token. Like if you use every power he has every turn, which is not
If
impossible.
nobody
I mean, he's
damages him, if nobody damages him and puts more power
true,
on him,
true.
it's still a 20% chance.
Yeah, yeah. You're right,
Because
and
you
there
gain
it
your
creates.
normal power and then you do I'm the spirit of vengeance.
Okay, so it's he gains 1 and then up to 5
Yes.
again on top of the
Yeah.
1.
So
Okay,
you only have to roll 4 or 5 of them.
right.
If you got 1 damage put on you, it's a coin flip. If you got 2 damage put on you, it's like an 85 or 88% chance. I did the math the other day.
Ugh. Okay.
So, yeah, you're likely to have it put on you.
Yeah, you're right. But then you count skulls. Do you
You
Well,
count
do.
skulls?
the opposite of that is that you know how with big characters we always like to try to ignore them so they don't power up and affect the board like they do. He's the complete opposite. You want to go into him. You want to power him up so he can't play the
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Attacking him is all upside.
Aside from giving him power that lets him do Power Cosmic Penance Stare, which is an incredible ability. I want to talk about that spender because it's amazing.
It
One,
is
it's
very
range
good.
2. It's incredible. It's range 2, which he can get in range 2 because of the Interstellar Hell Cycle. He can that is the best place in the game, without question. Uh, because you can spend 1 if you just need to bump. Like he's
Yeah.
got the Midnight Suns affiliation just innate on his card. Or it could be 5 and place yourself across the board. I mean, he is the most mobile that's not true, but he is an incredibly mobile character. Uh
He is the most mobile character in the game.
yeah, okay. He is the most mobile character in the game. And he can get within range to do a 12 dice attack against you. That's more dice than I own. That's more dice than I own. That
What an
is
amateur.
and on top on top of that, he will probably count skulls as stated in Brad's mathematics runoff, and he might roll well enough that you don't get to count your defenses. And on top of that, you don't get to get power from that attack. It's it is this the best spender in the game? Is it?
I would say no.
Okay, I that's fair. That's a fair assessment, but it's up there. It's almost certainly up there. It is 6 cost, but he will probably have the 6 cost for it. I
I would
think it's
say
an
that
incredible spender.
I think the original Ghost Rider has a better spender, and I think Voodoo has a better spender.
They're uh
Because Ghost Rider, you lose power for each damage you take,
correct.
and you don't gain power on top of that, so it's a double negative. And
Yeah.
then Voodoo Spender, for each damage you take from those wilds, you don't gain the power from it. So
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Voodoo Spender is as good as this one. I mean, it is good. It's very good. I'm not saying anything negative about Voodoo, but this is 12 dice and
so
it
you're just talking about dice pool then.
well, I mean that has to be factored into how good the attack is. I mean, it's 5
Well,
more dice
but that
than Voodoo's.
Brad, did you do the math on how hard that trigger it is to get?
12
Uh,
dice?
it's the same trigger as the Squirrel Girl card, so I can talk about something else.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that is great. Uh I think that he also has the ability to pull characters towards him using the chains of Sidorak. It is a less good pull than like Venom because it's short and range 3 instead of medium and range 4, but it gives Incinerate, which is very good. And it's 2 cost. That is an incredible superpower. That superpower is it gives him like even if he's not affecting your ability to score points, he will affect the enemy's ability to score points by pulling
Brad,
them off. Yeah.
this is the best superpower on this character card. Do you know why?
He can do it to multiple characters.
He can
Choose
do it to
a
his own
character.
characters. He
Yeah.
can do it to allied characters. The
Oh
only
my God, you're right. Oh my God, I didn't even
So,
notice that.
so he can pull Beta Ray Bill towards him. And Beta Ray Bill does not suffer incinerate.
Oh my goodness.
It's 44.
Yeah, you're correct.
It's 44%, by the way,
That's
to hit that
pretty.
trigger.
That's pretty likely.
Yeah.
That's pretty likely.
It's basically
really
a
good.
coin flip.
You won't get that against MODOK.
Modoc 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, MODOK won.
Yeah.
Also, counting skulls on 12 dice versus a normal 3 defense, your average damage, expected damage is above 7.
Yeah. Right. It's. I don't. So, what this guy brings is, I'm tired of playing the scenario. I'm just gonna kill my opponent. This. I think that there's a lot to play in that. I'm not saying this is. All right, I've been talking too much. Brandon, why don't you talk about him?
This character is the most mobile character in the game. He's the only character that can move up to range 5, and he can do it pretty reliably. If he does get a token, so if he doesn't have the Psychosis token, he can pick up an objective token. He can place with the objective token. There's nothing stating that he cannot interstellar hell cycle with the objective token, so he doesn't drop that token. The Chains of Sidorak, I'm going to be with Steven. It's the best. It's the best move. It's the best push in the game because you can save your own characters as well as pull other characters off the objectives. His base attack that's free with 6 dice with the Psychosis token, you have an average of 4. You're looking at an average of 4 damage on. It's like 3.56 damage that you're going to deal per attack against 3 defense. Once you're counting skulls, which is really high. And the fact that on a large base, if you move him even just 2, you're going to be able to attack twice on the first turn. I understand the fear of him not like contesting objectives. This character can do enough outside. If he could contest objectives, he'd be the best character in the game.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be close. I don't even think it'd be close. He's got 1 less health than Malekith. He's got the same defensive pulls. Except for he doesn't have to spend power to count skulls. He's got flight. He's immune to bleed, hex, incinerate, and poison. Also, being able to incinerate people for 2 power is really, really strong, and being able to pull them. And then on top of all that, he has got your back, which is one of the best abilities in the game.
Yeah.
He has, and like his got your back is looking at 4, which is looking at 4 damage. Like it's not a 4 or 5 dice, physical attack. You're looking at an energy attack, which is on average the lowest defense in the game. It's like slightly above Mystic as the lowest defense in the game. They're both well below physical on average. Characters you could have incinerated, characters. So now you just have a got your back where you can spend and the fact that he's just gonna have the ability to have a ton of power, and I get the idea of attacking him, but giving him the ability to do all the things in one turn is just crazy. He can spend 10 power a turn and not blink an eye. And not be phased by it. He can spend 10 power every single turn and not be remotely phased by it.
He might have 6 at the next power phase.
I
Yeah.
love
Like,
I love that Cosmic Justice of Wheels might as well not even be on there. Everyone's gonna spin down
because
a
Yeah.
it was
zero.
so, because yeah,
Everyone's gonna spin down a zero. You don't have to worry about him attacking you.
Right.
you know, the idea, I don't think you're ever activating him first. You're always going to activate him last. Uh, but also the worst thing about it is that he's the one that like having one model on a list. So the only affiliation we know he's in is Guardians, right? Like confirmed.
Isn't he also confirmed as Defenders?
Yeah, nobody
He
plays that. We're talking about Guardians here.
he has a Black Order card, so he's gonna be in Black Order.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the
Oh my
Black Order
god.
was the interesting one because the only other character that can push their own characters is Thanos, which is neither here nor there. The only two characters in the game are going to be in the same affiliation. Anyway, um, so
It's
the big,
basically 14 points for both of them too.
so
So
the cool thing about the Guardians affiliation, you can play 17 threat and have 11 points. So you can have four other models at 16 or at 17
oh
to go
god,
get all of your stuff, to
that's
go
disgusting.
to count all your stuff. Now you also have a model that's just going to literally destroy everything on the table. Like the odds of him, like, and the thing is, like, it's always we're in a big boy meta, right? With Hulks everywhere.
Yeah.
This Ghost Rider absolutely obliterates a Hulk.
Yeah.
The Power Cosmic Penance Stare literally obliterates Hulk.
This
'Cause
is a
that's
Hulk buster.
it's what Hulkbuster probably should have been. Like the 12 dice Mystic Attack. There's no size limit on the push. The 12 dice Mystic Attack, so 12 into 2, and if you incinerate him down to 1, um, he's not going to be alive. He's not going to be alive very long. You're looking at almost like I think it's like 9 damage on like the average at that point.
Yeah.
And like the idea that is, and it's like in your head, in like in theory, you're like, oh well, that's like Christmas Wonderland. With this character, it's not. Like that's very possible on turn 2 after you've already dealt damage with the Hellfire Blasters on turn 1.
Ugh.
Like it's very likely that you can do that on turn 2 and possibly just kill Hulk. Like there's a chance. So with Hellfire Blasters, against the 3 energy, if you can do the average, which is 3.5, so if we say 7 damage, now you only need 13, and that's just with this character. To do 20 damage, you can make 3 attacks on average and be like 2 damage short, and that's 3 attacks. That's not even counting another Hellfire's Blasters attack. And this
I hate
isn't.
it.
And the idea that this is like Christmas Wonderland is not. It's just not because how much power he's gonna get. If you roll, even if you keep the psycho, like in necessary, like. So now, once you eliminate one model from the field, now it's each character's down a model that can't contest, right? So now you're on the even playing field. And the difference is he's going to keep eliminating models if he keeps that psychosis token. Like it's going to keep happening. And I understand that that's like a drawback, but like thinking about specifically the like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's just so like they get to bring that, and now they have Rocket, Groot, Star Lord. That's only 8 points, so you can play another 3 in Drax. So now you're at 17 points, and you have 5 models. Fun fact: 4 of those models also can kill things very well.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not going to play Drax. You're going to play Bucky.
You could.
We're double got you back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then you're just like I said, you're in a scenario where it's like I get the idea. Like that drawback, if it's not on this card, the characters it would get nerfed in a week. It would get nerfed before it came out. It would be nerfed before July.
Right.
If they released this card in May and it didn't have that drawback, it'd be this is what Malekith should have been. This is more or less a fixed version of Malekith in a nutshell at 6th threat. And he's probably better than Malekith is now.
Yeah, I think he's better than Malekith.
Fred,
Uh,
not to interrupt, but I think I have a better another contender for better spender attack.
Oh, what is it?
You mentioned him, Hulkbuster. He's got that meteor punch. It's 8 dice, which is less, but it only costs 3 power.
Uh-huh.
So statistically, it's better. The character does not gain power for the damage dealt. If this character deals damage, the target is size 4 or less. You may throw it medium away, and then it also has a wild explosive for characters within 2 taking 1 damage. So
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. I
that's
don't see that as. I mean,
So,
it's very good.
I think
I'll even say it's very good spender. This one,
I'm
it's
gonna
like,
agree. I'm actually with Fred here. I think this is the best spender in the game. I am not with Steven here. I don't know if it's very close. Um, the fact that dust to dust is almost a coin flip at 50%, changing all the shields to skull or failures is just going to kill whatever model you're attacking. Like I said, when you're already at you're already looking at 7 successes, and then if you turn off all the shields, or like 7 damage, like through the blocks per the calculator. Now, if you turn off the shields that they get, I mean, like that number just jumps, right? Like you're probably a lot higher than that. You're probably closer to that 9, 10, 11 mark.
mm-hmm.
I think it's the second best attack in the game. I think the best attack in the game is Helios Laser.
yeah, there's some
Well,
value to having just a crap ton of dice.
Yeah. I mean, Helios Laser is just, I mean, it's built to just destroy things. And, fun fact, this character plays really well with Iron Man to power up Helios Laser.
Yep.
well, I would contend that, to put a damper on him, you have to run Scarlet Witch, which she doesn't mind her skulls going belly up because they count as successes for her, and then she gives out Judgment, which can probably slow him down quite a bit.
I mean, it slows down his power generation, but he still could generate as I don't know what the math is of how likely that power generation is, but I've played Green Goblin enough to know that you usually end up with more than just you'll end up with 3 or 4 every power phase,
Well,
I
which
I'm
is
don't
pretty
think
nice.
I think this is probably the one of the I don't think this character cares about Judgment at all. Like Judgment just stops power gain from attacks. Like he's gonna have enough power on his own
then
from
stun him on top of it.
yeah.
Is he not? He's not immune to stun, is he?
No. Well, yeah,
Okay.
and that's even better because then he's stunned. Then he's going to get rid of the psychosis token, which solves the other problem you have. Right? That's the big problem. That's the negative I've heard is that he can't contest. You stun him, now he's contesting everything. Now he's grabbing objectives and moving away.
It changes how he plays. It like switches him back to being a more normal model.
So and that's the thing. That's kind of what I was getting at. So it's like if you figure out how to deal with the power generation, now he's a 6 threat model that can still kill you with his attack. Still has good attacks, has all the movement shenanigans, has the pushes, has the got your back, and now he can contest objective tokens.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other point that anyone would like to make about this guy before we go into our letter grades?
I
Okay.
think this character makes Guardians of the Galaxy the best faction in the game.
They
And I
were
don't know if
already
this
They already were great.
They were
And
already they were already top 5, and I think this solidifies them as the #1 affiliation in the game.
it
As far as
helps
like a
them a lot.
tournament, as far as like the tournament scene's gonna be concerned.
So we should all stop running our other stuff and just go to Guardians of the Galaxy. Got it.
I don't own any of the Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'm not gonna.
Neither do I.
I mean, it's not. I mean, there's always like a best faction. Like, I mean, it was Shield for a while. It was Brotherhood for a while when they came out. Like, it's. I mean, that stuff will turn, but I think this definitely solidifies them as like the boogeyman. Like, you have to be prepared to play against them if you're gonna play in tournaments.
Here's the thing also about him is that I don't think that he's gonna be quite as he will go down. Like he's got pretty good defenses, but he's got only a grand total of 16 hit points, 16 stamina.
Yeah,
If you
16
focus your
seconds.
attacks on him, he will go down. Uh,
He's got the Cytokus token. He's counting
counting skulls,
shields,
yeah. That
skulls, crits, and wilds. He's gonna be really hard to kill.
I, I mean, you're right. He will be hard to kill, but he won't be as hard to kill as, say, Immortal Hulk, in all likelihood. Like, let's say if you were up against Immortal Hulk or you were up against him, he would likely go down first. Not in a fight between the two. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I know what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah. So I think that in a way, he will probably require less tech to remove. Like, you don't. The tech
So
to
he's
remove him is
slightly
more
less
attacks.
durable. He's slightly less durable than a character that has the word immortal in his name.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, just making
yeah.
sure
You're
we're
right.
I like it.
All
I
right,
like
let's
it.
go on to our letter grades here. Uh, uh, so I'll go first. I was coming in here ready to give him an A, just because I think he's great, and I think that he's like even with the debuff, the negative on his card, he's still a great like killer. This conversation has lifted me up from a I'm real close to giving him an S. Someone talk me down. Someone talk me down from an S.
How many six threats have an S tier rating?
Uh, I don't know. I'll give him an A plus. I'm gonna give him an A plus. That's what I'm gonna do.
One natural 6 and the 1/6 threat that you add stones to.
Right. Yeah. Okay. What are you gonna give him there, Brandon?
I've drank the Kool-Aid. I think he's an S tier model.
Okay. There you go. What are your thoughts, Brad?
B.
B. Okay. And what about you, Steven?
I'm actually at a B also, not knowing his tactics cards. And just what I see here, he just can't go everywhere. You know what I mean? So the teams he's associated with, he'll make good. But I can't see anything beyond that right at the moment. Because honestly, the upper tiers in threat, that's getting crowded now by quite a few models.
I mean, that's true. True.
I am glad
Okay.
to have another 6. We haven't had a 6 in a long time. The last 6 we had that came out was Hulkbuster.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. There's only 6/6s. And Hulk was the first release, and then what? Thanos, Magneto, She-Hulk, and then Hulkbuster.
Huh. Yeah. You're right. Okay.
And then we've got
Uh,
the two sevens.
So we're pretty. This is a pretty split guy. We have two people who are an A plus and an S, and then two Bs on him. I think
We'll
that
see who's right.
just. Yeah, you're right. We'll see who's correct.
The fun thing is, like, I want this model, I want to play him, but he does not play the way I like to play this game.
I want him.
Exactly.
He
Yeah,
does play the way
but
I want to play.
but
This
to
is
be fair,
me.
the way I play this game is very weird and very obscure to how you should play this game. Like, he fits in if you're playing attrition, he fits in. If you want to kill stuff, he fits in. Honestly, I'd play him with Emma. I could play him as a 6 threat with Emma. I lied.
Uh,
Never mind. I figured it out. I already solved my own problem. I'll just play with Emma.
Save that for when it's your segment.
That's
All right,
Emma's such a cop out.
Okay. Hey, Brad, do you have any comic books that you want to recommend him in?
I suppose so. I have to find it because I also did research for our backup. Oh, speaking of which, the next time we don't have a new model, we are doing Deadpool, and that is our last request that we have gotten. So if there's a model you want us to talk about, put a comment on the YouTube because I don't think you can comment on the audio version. go to YouTube, leave us a comment. We will do your requests.
We do those.
Yeah, that's the whole reason we did Gambit, for example. The only reason we're doing Deadpool, someone requested it.
And request a good model, please.
Request whatever model you love, even
I
if
like
they're even if
a
they're
non-mutant decent model, please.
even if they're bad like Cosmic Ghost Rider. Go ahead and request them.
Bad like Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Cosmic Ghost Rider. Here's some comics if you like this character.
How many of them involves Baby Thanos?
One.
All right, I'm in.
The first one I would like to suggest is Cosmic Ghost Rider 1 through 5 by Donny Cates and Dylan Burnett. Cosmic Ghost Rider has a simple plan to make the universe better. It's so simple that he can't believe no one's tried it yet. To save the universe, he's going to go back in time and kill baby Thanos.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Isn't that a great premise?
Yes.
It's easier said than done. Easier said than done.
You mean someone with some kind of moral compass can't kill a baby?
Yeah, Frank Castle, just pillar of the community, upstanding guy. Everyone should strive to be more like Frank Castle.
Right.
I've heard that. I try to mimic everything in the TV show that's based around Frank Castle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 through 6 by Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw. This, of course, is the Guardians of the Galaxy that has Cosmic Ghost Rider in it. The galaxy is on fire, and they need the Guardians more than ever, but there aren't very many left at this point due to other recent events. So Cosmic Ghost Rider and a bunch of other people who have never been Guardians before join the team, and they take on the Dark Guardians and the Black Order. So there you go. If those sound interesting to you, you can read them
There are
on Marvel.
Dark Guardians?
Yeah, I didn't look up who the Dark Guardians were. So don't ask me.
Okay.
I don't know who they are,
Okay.
but they fight them.
I have the list pulled up here, if you want to know.
Sure.
Fun fact: a form of Ghost Rider is the Rider, which is a variant of the Cosmic Ghost Rider, is a part of the Dark Guardians. The other main members are Gladiator, Nebula, Star Fox, and Wraith.
Interesting. I love Wraith. Love Wraith.
I love
Yeah,
Star Fox.
that's actually a really cool. Not that Star Fox, Fred.
Damn it.
That's actually a really cool.
No,
Doesn't even remotely resemble that Star Fox either.
You're talking
Fred.
about you're talking about Eros, Thanos' brother, right?
Yes. Thanos' brother who has the power of making people like him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Played by Harry.
I'd rather do a barrel roll.
Played by Harry Styles in the movies.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Did you
had
watch
one
Eternals?
Yeah, I did.
Did you watch the
That's Arrows?
Did you watch the after credits scene?
I mean, I don't think I did. I'm so tired of after credit scenes.
Well,
I'm
he
gonna be
shows up in
honest.
that. I love
I
Eternals.
want them to just put it all in the frickin' movie. Don't make me sit through any effing.
To be fair,
I
I
like
think
the mid-credit scenes. I
think
don't
it-
like the end of
I
credits
think it
scenes.
was
I
a
am with Fred on
mid-credit
that.
scene. I think it was a mid-credit scene.
I do think the post-credit scene is when the guy from Game of Thrones is picking up the sword from the box. And
Oh
you
yeah,
hear,
that's right.
Blade's character ask him if he's ready for that.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. I I am a little bit Marvel movied out, if I'm to be honest. I'm a little Marvel movied
You should
out.
go see Guardians.
I have seen Guardians,
Oh,
and that one, I stand by my statement.
what? That one was so
I
good.
stand by my statement.
I haven't seen Guardians 3, so let's not talk about it.
Okay. All
Fun
right.
fact,
Well,
the Dark Guardians' main enemies are Hela and the Black Order.
interesting.
That's a really cool, like, that's a really awesome group of people if you know anything about those characters. So
It's certainly
I'm
an
actually like,
interesting team up.
yeah, yeah. That's more of what I meant. I'm actually very interested
I
in.
forgot all about Wraith, and I hope we get Wraith very soon in this game.
I want this entire. Just give me a 3 character box with Gladiator, Star Fox, and Wraith, and just give one of them a Dark Guardians leadership. Man,
Okay. Well, Brandon, do you have a roster recommendation you want to give us for Cosmic Ghost Rider?
I do. And I'm gonna try to do it without laughing. I have a good point. Like, I don't think it's the best place to play them, but I think he fits in very well in this affiliation. So, I think you should play him in Cabal. Um, Specifically, Sin Cabal.
Oh, oh,
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Let me let me get it, let me get through it, right? So we talked about the fact of, like, Cabal has a lot besides Sin, like there's a lot of other good low threat models. Um so you can play wide and play Ghost Rider and play a lot of, like, the 3 threats that are included in Cabal. We have that are good: Baron Mordo, Baron Strucker. We have Baron Zemo. You have Bob and Bullseye. You have Hood. You have obviously Sin,
Bear
but
Mordo.
you, yeah, Mystique. I said Mordo, didn't I? Yeah,
Yeah.
Mordo, Strucker, Zemo. Then you have Mystique um, and Scourge. So you got a lot of really good low threat models, so you can still play wide enough to play the secure. And for those of you who are not familiar with Sin's leadership, because you probably shouldn't be, it is called Red Mayhem. And during the cleanup phase, after scoring victory points, you roll a die for each objective token contested by an allied character. If the result is a crit hit wild, push the enemy character contesting the objective token away from the objective token short. And then you roll a die for each enemy character holding an asset token within 2 of an allied character. If the result is a hit crit wild, the enemy character drops 1 asset token of your choice. So he's not able to pick up asset tokens, obviously, so your opponent's probably going to have more than you. And now this leadership possibly forces them to start dropping those tokens, and you can still play wide enough with the leadership with having a 3 threat model as your leader to then try to pick them up, while Cosmic Ghost Rider then continues to try to just, do his thing and murder things.
You
Also,
just made
you can also play him with Malekith on 15 with Bullseye and stay affiliated, but that's just here nor there.
you just made the best point I've ever heard for playing Sin Cabal.
Yeah, I think it's probably the only way you should play Sin Cabal. I'm sure there's another way, but, like, this has got to be, like, top 2.
Every,
I
every,
I can feel Steven just, like, racking his brain that I just recommended Sin Cabal. Like, I can feel it in him, like, from 3.5, 4 hours away. I can just hear him.
Oh
I can
man,
just
I'm just like, ah.
I can feel it in his. I can just feel him through the microphone, just like, what, what?
I run
Uh,
Red Skull before I run Sin. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I was
But he
thinking,
fits very. I don't think Sin's the. I think Sin's the worst leadership in Cabal. But to take full advantage of Ghost Rider, you can work on the secures with your opponents, and then force the asset tokens to be dropped with the leadership ability. Is kind of the idea behind it. Um, as well as, and if you want to, like, a quick list, and you just want to, you can literally just stay in Cabal and play Mordo, Strucker, Zemo, Bob, Bullseye. You have to play Sin, unfortunately. And then Cosmic Ghost Rider, Mystique, Scourge, and then Malekith. And then you have a really good 10 model list.
I mean, you're right. I don't hate that, and that's the first time that I've ever said that about Sin.
And you own Sin.
I do. I've
Well,
played Sin.
you don't
You
hate it because Malekith's in there.
Yeah,
Also,
right, right.
fun fact, you can then play the tactics card that Sin has that's really good, right? Illicit Tech. That's the
Uh-huh.
card, right? That card's great.
It's a
So
great
like,
yeah.
I mean, this is and like now you get now you're playing all these. Oh, I don't even want to say good things, but you're playing things. But Illicit Tech is really good.
I
And
played Alyssa Tech once when I had Sin running in Criminal
yeah,
Syndicate with Kingpin because you can use Alyssa Tech and then follow it up with Cruelty.
yeah,
Uh
yeah. That's
she
great.
has another card which I tried to use a lot when I was learning how to play the game called To Ash and Cinder, where it basically puts a bomb out on the battlefield. And I'll tell you what, I've definitely blown myself up more than my opponent
You
with that
definitely
card.
blew yourself up with that card against me, and that like solidified that I would never play her.
Yeah.
That's also a Sin or Crossbones card. That's interesting. Uh, but
Well,
you get to play Mystique, who can auto damage characters. The idea is you can play Mystique, who can auto damage characters. I would probably play. I'm really upset you can't play Punisher with them because I love the idea of playing both variations of Punisher.
Yeah.
And that bothers me on like a molecular level, but I understand and I just hate it.
You
Um,
know what is an interesting circumstance is you could
'Cause-
play both versions of Ghost Rider on the table at the same
yes.
time.
So we talked about that last night, and I will most likely definitely do that at some point. Well, and the thing is, like, in again, fun. I got 20 threat. Like, if you get a 20 threat and you're playing Guardians, you can play both of them and still be affiliated in at least at a minimum 5 wide.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah,
It's really good.
you would be 5 wide. You'd be 5 wide. You'd be affiliated, which is with both Ghost Riders.
One of the Ghost Riders gets taken out. Or original Ghost Rider gets taken out. You do the attack with this Ghost Rider, and then you deal with the devil into someone useless like Nebula.
Yeah. Then you get a got your back, which is a lot would happen if
Yeah.
you did that. So, but he plays really well. He plays really well under a lot of leaderships. I don't think I would ever find a better reason to recommend Sin's leadership. Um, so I took this opportunity and I ran with it.
Well, good on you. Good on you, sir.
And I love that it blew Steven's mind. So that works for me too. I think that was definitely a win-win there.
well, I mean, the only other one you could have said was Winter Guard, and I would have been like, "What?" So,
I don't think he does anything under Winterguard's leadership. That just like removes stuff, right?
yeah.
Well, it makes you harder to push too.
I don't think he's going to care. I mean, having a range 4 attack's not going to really care about push plus a pull plus movement shenanigans. He's going to get and make sure someone's wherever he wants them to be. Um, like he can move himself. And the fun thing is you can move yourself to different angles to make sure you're pushing the character the way you want them to be, which is kind of funny. Um, I do think he does fit really in Cabal in general. Like him and Malekith, like at that list at 15 is absolutely insanely scary, and I don't want anything to do with that. Like I don't want anything to do with being on the other side of the table, especially on like a game, like because that happens on Gamma, right? Like I don't want anything to do. I don't want to be in that game at all. I don't want to play it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch it be played. Like I don't want anything to do with it.
I want
Like
to do it.
it
I want
sounds.
to do it.
I would if Fred did it. I would be fine with being on the other. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things. My other recommendation was actually going to be Sam Spam Avengers because it's just low threat leaderships. I think any of them he fits really good in. Um, Something I said too, we talked about a little bit. I think it was when when Brad went to the bathroom yesterday. But if defenders do get a Jessica Jones style leader that is like three threat, that regardless of what the leadership ability does, that is going to be a very, very scary affiliation.
Yeah.
They
If
have
they
they
get
have
someone who they don't have to take a 5 threat model to be
you
affiliated.
don't have to take a five threat model.
Yeah.
And not even that he's bad, it's just they have a lot of really good models in that list, and they're like they have really good high threat models. They have Hulk, they have the Immortal Hulk, and if they have Cosmic Ghost Rider, like they have three really good 6+ models that you want to play, probably more than you want to play Doctor Strange. Not everybody, Doctor Strange is good. Um, but this is a list that can really attack people with Hawkeye, Valkyrie, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. You have Scarlet Witch. You have Wong to heal people up. So there's a Blade. There's a lot of really good.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yeah, Moon. Like, and then Magic. I don't want to discredit Magic. Like, you have a lot of really good three threat models. Um, that if you have a leader that fits in that three threat, and then you can play kind of that list that I mentioned is he's your six, and now you're just playing a lot of threes and a two, or however you want to play it. Or you can still play wide, play the Skewers, and just have one model that's kind of turned off on that, but can just murder everything. Because I think people forget how killy Valkyrie is, like how killy, like I mean, everyone knows how killy Iron Fist is. Like Luke Cage and Magic aren't any slouches. Moon Knight can do a lot of damage. Like they have a lot going for them if they can get a new leadership. Uh, I'll preach that till I can't breathe anymore.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's just because of the spread of characters that we now have. That things that were hyper focused and hyper competitive 6 months ago. You know, new characters come out, and all of a sudden they're the latest news. You know what I mean? So.
It also feels really bad that they have 21 models in their affiliation, but only have one leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
Wow.
probably gonna have we're about to have like the new Black Panther and Killmonger come out, which will probably have a leadership on one of them with M'Baku. So they'll have 8 models with 2 leaderships, which is
I think
hurts my
that
soul a little bit.
I think the new Killmonger is going to be Threat 5
I can see it. I
because
have I have a take that I think Ultron is going to be a 6 threat, and I think Doctor Doom is going to be a 7 threat, and I think they're just scaling. We're gonna have 4, 5, 6, 7 threat models with grunts. That's my interesting little
well,
prediction.
the reason I say that about Killmonger is because in the Vibranium heist, they have a Killmonger card in there, and he's Threat 5, and it's got that same mask that he has in the Rivals pack. So I'm
That kill
thinking,
that Killmonger's good.
mm-hmm, yeah, he's real good.
That's a
So
that's a fun thing too.
yeah.
For those of you who have not played it, that is, if you can get that pack, it's a very fun one to play.
Speaking of the Rivals panels, the Rival packs, do you know what's happened since Wolverine and Sabretooth Apex Predator Rivals pack has come out?
What? I
I,
don't. What has happened?
I complain about it at least once every 2 weeks that I don't want to buy $100 pack for 2 models.
No, 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 no. Something's happened
Well, that does
from
happen.
that release onward to the releases that we've had now. Can you take a guess of what it is?
We have not got anyone under 4 threat.
That is correct.
Ever.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have only gotten 4 threat models for a very long time. Like, we haven't got a 3. We haven't had a 2 in a while. We haven't got a 3 in a long time. We haven't got a. This was like I said, this is the first 6, and Hulkbuster was over a year ago, right? Like it was almost 2 years ago.
It was a
Right.
while ago.
Yeah, so like we haven't had a 6 in almost 2 years. Like we've gotten 7s and 4s.
Huh.
Like the last 3 we got was Arnim Zola and Baron Strucker, I think.
No, it was Pyro and Blob, wasn't it?
Did they come out?
I
The
think they
same
came out
day?
December right before the pack, the Sabretooth
So
pack
were they like
with
this? Were they a month apart? Were they
Oh,
November and then December?
uh, they might have even come out at the same time.
I think they came out the
Mhm.
same day actually.
Yeah.
Because I remember not like Pyro and Blob came out with something else that I actively did not buy, and I thought it was the Hydra stuff.
But yeah, interestingly enough, we haven't had threes or twos show up. We've
I
had
don't.
1/5, which is Ulik,
Yeah,
but you're right. Rest are fours and sevens.
and I
This is
don't
a six.
know. I don't know if we're getting a three anytime soon because I don't think Claw might be a three, but I don't think M'Baku could be a three, but I don't think Black Panther or Killmonger are threes. M'Baku probably shouldn't be a three. Um, Ultron's definitely not a three.
No, he's not. Yeah,
He's 6+ for sure.
Shadow King and X.
It'll be the stupid X-Men. Not stupid X-Men. I'm sorry. I'm actually really like this X-Men. Really, Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler. There'll be threes and maybe a two.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I know Brad.
I
Brad
know
wants
what
it
we're
to, so
not
I
going
just
to
want
get
to.
is a long mover.
Yeah, you're not getting a long mover. Nightcrawler could be a long mover.
I think he'll have a place instead. He'll move
Yeah,
medium in place.
he'll move
So
medium. He'll move. What if he moved small and had a free place
That'd be
once per
okay.
turn, place within two? Because that's like it's
Two.
longer than a law. Yeah, yeah.
That's free
Two.
for free.
don't get
Yeah.
his ire up.
I think
I'm
he's
just
But
more
giving him
likely to have the same power as Cosmic Ghost Rider.
1 to 5.
Yeah.
Small base 1 to 5. Cosmic Ghost Rider still move better. Could he keep an objective token through it? He can move. So he could have he'll have a tactics card that can take someone with him, right? Like for sure.
Probably.
I'll be I'll be really sad if not. Yeah, the next three we get are gonna be the X-Men, right? Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler, and maybe Bobby.
no, Iceman's going to be a four or better.
I would think so, but I feel like they could do a three if they really wanted it to.
All
So
right,
yeah,
everybody. I'm tired. I'm calling it. We're well off on a tangent.
That's what I do.
well,
Yeah.
I was just mentioning the drought of no threes or twos.
It's true. It's a drought. It's a we thirsty. Give me
It is a
Jessica
drought
Jones.
indeed.
I want a 3-point defenders leader. Please and thank you.
All right. So the last thing is my recommendation: play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's all. Okay.
I forgot about that.
Uh.
Oh wait, hold on, Fred. You might be interested in this. I got one last thing.
Okay.
Did you see the new trailer for the Mortal Kombat that comes out in September?
No, I haven't.
All right, go watch it. That's it. Bye.
All right. I'll see everybody later.